Wow, I'm not even gonna mention what you just said on stream. You bastard.
What?
It almost came out during stream. You suck. That would have been mean. Hello, everybody.
That's funny.
Welcome to another stream. My name, of course, is Hexblade, your headmaster, and you made me fuck up my intro.
Go.
Hey.
Try again.
Nope, I don't remember anymore. Hi. I forgot. I straight up forgot. You joined us because of this. So what are we soldering? I have two basic, like, two soldering kits that have at least a bunch of different things that I want to showcase, and that's what we're going to try and go for today. One has a lot more, or one is a bigger one, one's smaller, but I want to show off, like, a lot of different techniques, so that's what I want to try and do. Like, we'll show off on the stream. Let me just head over to the soldering stream now, since I actually did manage to prepare everything beforehand because I'm smart. So we have this one kit that I have, which has a lot of very tiny SMD components, self-mounting components, and then like the occasional through hole. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And then I have this bigger one, which is like, I think it's similar to one of the ones that I made before. Like, it has like a fucking it's huge though. Like, it has so many like other components.
Mm-hmm.
And you like, it basically just kind of comes together like this, and then it, oh, upside down. It is like it's basically a huge ass statue at this point. Huge, yeah.
So that's still funny.
Huge. But yeah, it's like, it's a very large, big ol' spaceshipy thing. I don't think we're gonna do this one yet. We're gonna probably do this one later, but if we have time, because there's so much shit on here. But that's why I wanted to do the smaller one first, because at least it's a tutorial and I don't want to terrify people. This is ideally a tutorial. I don't want to terrify people. So let me just put this away. It is a good practice board, but I also have stuff for this. So, and again, like, I want to show off multiple methods, so we have a couple different things here.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, soldering, like, as just like stuff you'll need. The soldering iron itself. This will depend on, like, you might have like a bigger chunky one. I happen to have this one because it has a USB-C input and a tiny screen, and it was small enough for me to hold, and also was pretty cheap, you know? Ignore the kit parts, because we're going to ignore those, because that's not part of what you need. Another thing you'll need. This is I 3D printed this. This is a soldering little dispenser, but you don't necessarily need this. What I'm pointing out is the solder itself. There are different types. Some have lead in them. Some don't have lead in them. It depends on the application and whatever. I usually recommend like a lead-free solder. I believe it has a higher melting point, or no, it has a higher melting point, but it won't fucking kill you if you eat it. Just kind of important.
Yeah.
But also just don't like put shit in your mouth or anything with these. Just as a safety thing, like as a whole, you know. Don't be like that. You need those body parts to like eat and live. Don't do that.
Shout out to living.
Shout out to living. It's great. A thing that people don't
Mas.
have often, but I always suggest, is solder paste or solder flux. They also have different ways of getting it. It's basically a tube of goo that will make things a little bit better when soldering. And there's also a soldering pen, which I have. Basically what happens, we'll see this when I do the soldering, but when I heat this up, actually, let's put it this way. When I heat this up and it cools down onto the material, it will, what's the word? The air from that it's hitting the solder will oxidize the outside metal and cause it to to form like iron oxide and stuff. That has a higher melting point than the actual solder itself, so it makes it harder to actually solder in it for later. What the flux does is prevents the buildup, since it's going to be protected, but it's also very sticky. But we'll get onto cleaning this later. And now these are for a separate type of soldering. So as you can see, like, most of these are going to be good for like the little holes that we have, like for the soldering iron. But for these tinier components, even though I will absolutely be soldering these by hand, I will also show off another way of doing it. This is Chip Quick, which is also known as solder paste, because it also comes in a paste form. This has the paste and the flux built into it. It has a very low melting point. But what it will do is... Oh, and also, why would you need that? And like, what's the hot surface? Here it is. Here's the hot plate. This is a very tiny hot plate, but it gets really hot. So I'm not going to touch that. Also has USB-C. Pretty helpful. I will be using this for some of these just as a showcase as to how it works. But what happens is we plop it here. This is tacky enough that some of these tiny components can just like stay there, and while this heats up, it'll melt and everything will come through. And then it'll, because of surface tension, everything will everything will come together on here without me like actually physically touching it. But for some of these, I'm going to be using tweezers. Oh, and forgot a thing that's off screen. So this is very sticky, but the thing we need to clean it off with is, this is a small bottle of isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol. And I'm going to be squirting it on these tiny little components here, and then cleaning it off with, I think I don't have, a bunch of Q-tips. So that's kind of the goal for today. So
Nice.
that's how we got it. So give me a sec. But do you have some solder braid? I do have solder braid, but I'm not sure if we're going to be needing it. I've seen it used, but I have no idea what it does. Ooh, okay, hold on. I have some. I just need to grab it. Okay. This is solder braid, also known as solder wick. It is a big braided strand of tiny, tiny copper wires. Man, I wish the autofocus would do something. God, you suck.
That's that's the Gen AI application we need, is better auto.
Better autofocus? They already have that. They have laser autofocus. Anyway, it's tiny braided thin strands of copper. And what will happen is, what it's used for is if you fuck up soldering something here. It's called a wick because if you, let's say, fuck up a solder joint or something, you can put it on the component that you fucked around with, put it on here, and the hot solder will melt and get wicked up the braid. So it's like another way of solder removal, but with less not using the pump. I don't think we're going to be using the pump today because of how small these guys are. And honestly, solder removal, I always feel like is like a secondary. It's like a soldering removal is like soldering 102. We're trying to do soldering 101 right now. I do have it, but it's a pain. Can you crack the whip? Johnny test whip crack noise. Okay. Okay, so let's get started here. Also, because these components are so fucking small, I'm gonna have to zoom in and use the camera for this too. This is also why I have the camera. I can use it as like a secondary, as like a secondary little camera thing. All right. Do. Come on, autofocus, do your job. Come on.
Like you said, autofocus, like it's.
Come on. Oh my god, do I have to do this myself? Come on, there we go. Oh god, it's so smart. Also, look how big this is in comparison. Like this is my pointer. It's my pointer finger. This shit is tiny. This shit is tiny, but that's why I want to do it for practice reasons. Autofocus hates everyone. Absolutely. I don't know why we will not make like a digital autofocus. Oh, actually, this is actually pretty good. Pretty good camera view. So let's plug this in. God, I love how fast this is. Okay. So I'm gonna leave that. Oh god, why is it at 300? Holy shit. Why did I set it for... Give me a sec. It had a manual with it, so I need to grab the paper manual it came with. What webcam wanted to let me? Yeah, sometimes it does. Okay, there we go. What does it want us to solder in first? Installs. Okay. Align position first. So it gives us even a little tutorial too. Randomly choose a pad on the PCB and mount solder onto this pad. Pin one of them in tweezers and like match it on, and then solder the rest through. Okay. This is honestly not bad advice. So let's grab the chip.
Chip.
Tiny. Small ass chip. Okay. The autofocus will take care of it. There we go. So what we're going to do is, for this alignment, is see this little dot on the chip? That dot right there? To align them, you got to match the chip on the diagram over here. This chip is a little bit different. If I can manage to grab it and flip it over. Oh. Pine Soul's... Yeah, the Pine Soul's sick. I do love them. Okay, there we go. This also has a dot. And that will probably match up here as well. Some chips have a notch, which will designate which way they go here. So let's start. I got my flux. What we're gonna do is like it's genuinely you don't worry about it. The thing with flux is that it does help with making all these components stick, but at the same time it is actually corrosive if you leave it on. So cleaning up is an important part. So for the sake of just starting, let's just put it on here. Come
Looks
on.
like applesauce.
It is. Don't eat it.
I won't.
It's not great.
But only because you told me to, not because I have the maturity to not eat things that look like food.
Okay. That's a you problem. Sometimes solder comes with flux built in, but I don't really trust it.
The fuck is that gonna work?
It's like in the core.
I see. It's some like, 3-in-1,
Axe body
shampoo,
spray, shark
conditioner,
spray,
body
yeah.
wash.
So, one important thing that we do before we do is called tinning the solder tip, is to get some fresh solder on it before we start poking around on it. So, touch. There you go. Fresh solder is on it. All right. Let us put the chip in its rightful place. Oh. Why? There we go. Listen, it's not. It doesn't need to be that complicated. Just kind of, as long as it fits, it's all good, you know.
As long as the pins and the pin pad are aligned and the pinout is correct.
Yep.
And
as long as
the
it's
solder's
like
good enough, the chip doesn't just fall right off.
Oh yeah, totally. Like, we're not aiming for perfection with this. We're just trying to make sure that the pieces align. So there we go. Let's just add a bit more solder on there just in case. All right. So what it's saying is to just poke one of these leads. There we go. Look at that. The solder already got to one of them and put it on the pad. Now we could do the same with the rest of them. The solder that's on the tip already might be enough for all this, but in the event that it isn't, I'm going to just add more solder. There we go. Step 1 to one of the pin. Step 2, draw the rest of the owl. Yeah. I mean, no, what? Do you want draw the rest of the owl? I'll do draw the rest of the owl. There. Oh.
Shout out to owls.
Shout out to owls, actually, yeah. Over here. Stop it. Go away. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Fuck. This is a really bad way to draw the owl, I'll be real. Oh, it's getting worse. Hey, guess what? We get to use the solder wick. because of the branches I made. So more flux. Does not hurt. Beep. Beep. Okay. Flux. Solder braid. Let's just fix this really quickly. Oh. You can see that the solder is getting sucked up in the braid a bit, which is the point of this guy. Oh, whoops. Ta-da! And what you have left is solder on them. Some of them is gone, so you can reapply just a little bit. Might be easier this way, actually. And the solder will just go over to them. And it's not too bad. There we go. That's one side, dude. No, it's actual cap. Yeah, it's actually cap. It's straight up capillary action. It's so neat. Surface tension is fucking cool. All right, so now we can do the other side. Oh, also, if you see your tip get a little bit of crud like this, one thing that is beneficial to have on hand is brass, like the little brass sponge or steel wool that they have. What you'll do is just stick your tip in there and just, you know, rub it around a little bit. I usually just kind of go in circles, like I'm stirring a pot or something. And when you're done, it's nice and clean, you know. So we'll add a little bit more solder on here, and oh, there we go. And do this other side. Just gonna add a little bit more. There we go. One of the advanced ways of doing it is called, like, raking, where you basically get a bunch of solder on here and then just rake it between the pins, and the surface tension will take care of the rest. It's sort of like this, but... like that. I think I could show it off on the other side, too. The raking it was the reason why it messed up this side, actually. Because if you do it wrong, you might get stuff in between, but as you can see, it came out pretty well, basically perfect. So, chip in. What do we do next? Well, because all the flux basically burned off in there, and it's kind of gross. You gotta clean it up. And what do we do to clean it up? It's the bottle of isopropyl alcohol to the rescue. So you can be aggressive with this, honestly. There's no real reason why not to. Is to just kind of just squirt it on there. Use the Q-tip to clean it up. Kind of in like a scrubby manner. Ew, it's all on there now. It's clean enough for my stand. Like, you know. Yeah, it's clean enough for my standards. If the autofocus can continue just to stay there and stop moving around. I'm gonna turn off the autofocus on the camera. I can't anymore. It needs to stop doing this. There. I now manually control the focus. But yeah, all that gross burnt the burnt shmoo is all gone now. So it's kind of messy, but it is clean. It is clean, and we soldered our first little surface mounted chip on there. It's a little off alignment, but it's on there, and that's what counts. It's on there, and there's no, like, bridging pins, so that's what counts, really. That's what matters the most. Next, let's move on to this other chip. And I guess while I'm not using it, we can do the other method as well. The hot plate method. So let me get the hot plate. All right. We'll let that soldering iron cool off in a different area. Let's just put this guy in. It even tells us how hot it's gonna get. It's so crazy. It'll also go to 230 degrees centigrade. So before we turn this guy on, we're gonna put the chip on. But instead of using flux, we're gonna use the solder paste instead. It's kind of a bit, hold on. I need to get a needle for this. It's kind of a lot in here. All right. So what's in here is the same that I already put on. It's both the the little metallic solder in here and the flux. So it's all in one package. So what we're gonna do now is just come on. Push the stupid lever to get the solder paste out. Come on. Come on. Something was wondering when you posted is you still have a holding an iron pose. I don't have an iron. Well, it's an asset. Let me grab it. You're right. There it is. Close enough. Looks a little weird. Brandon's in the way, but it's all fine. Okay. Anyway. Push. Why is the solder paste not coming out? Come on. Ow.
If you need to move me, feel free.
No, it's fine. I'm squeezing so hard right now. I just don't want a bunch of it just to explode. Oh, there it goes. There we go. So we're just gonna apply like a little bit. We don't need to be actually accurate for this. We just need to have like a general placement. It'll actually you know, that it will actually take care of itself. It's kind of crazy like that.
Wow.
The needle is probably a better idea. Oh, come on. It stopped flowing. No, keep going. Come on. There we go. There we go. Okay. Little messy, but it's workable. We'll make this work. I'll be real, this is incredibly messy. But we'll make it work. Now we have the white dot there, and we're gonna align it with the dot that's on the chip, which chip is upside down. Which is that guy over there. So there. Give or take, that's the right placement. So what we're going to do is turn this on. Is this the right button? I've forgotten how to use this thing. Give me a second. No. I've forgotten how to use this. Hold on. Which one's the on button? There we go. I forgot what the button was. Now it says it's working and slowly getting to temperature. And you'll see what it does. It's basically magic. I forgot what the melting point of this was. Also, this in particular does actually contain lead, as you can see. SN, which is tin, and PB is lead. So, yeah, be careful with this. But as you can see, look, it's already melting. Or it's getting a little wet, I guess. Like, we genuinely don't even need to really do anything at this point. We just gotta wait for it. Be careful, because this is currently 160 degrees centigrade and increasing. So what's happening is the flux inside this is slowly drying up. You'll see it change and kind of bubble too, I think, at this point. Sort of. Yeah, you'll see it kind of, you see it's like drying up. Oh. There it goes. There it goes. So now it's all melted. It's actually affecting the other one here too. So, but it's a little bit blobby. So let's just fiddle with it a little bit. Come on. As you can see, it basically all just kind of congealed together. I'm gonna add a bit more flux just to... Might have put too much on here, but I just wanna... Come on. Come on. Stop it. Might need to use the iron to clean this up, but that was generally how it was supposed to go. Let's check the other side. Kind of the same thing. I think I actually put, shocker, too much paste on it, and it did not like that. Actually, since we have the pot plate, we might as well use the wick as well. Just a little bit. Eh. Come on. Did any of it actually even get sucked up? I don't think it did. Hold up. Let's try again. Ooh. It's kind of a mess now. Hold on. Cooking it isn't necessarily a problem. I mean, as long as you don't put the chip above the temperature it's definitely not okay with. Hold on. Let me get a chip. I know a trick for this. We'll turn the soldering iron off really quick. Or we're going to turn this off really quickly. One thing I know is that if you cut up the wick into a smaller piece, it will be able to absorb some of that solder a little bit in a better. So let's... Because all the heat's going into this and not like going up the wicking chain, so let's just, you know... Oh, hold on. Stop getting... it's getting cold. Hold on. Alma forgets how to use her hot plate. There we go. I straight up forgot for a minute there. I'm gonna get another pair of tweezers because I really don't want to touch this.
Understandable.
It's so spicy, you know?
It is far in excess of the boiling point of water.
By a lot.
Like, I know your skin is not going to absorb it that fast, but
it ain't gonna like it.
You want to figure out the hard way.
Yeah, no, definitely no.
So knowledge of thermodynamics, I'd like to be left ignorant on.
Yeah. Let's go to the other side. Ow!
Did you hurt yourself?
I touched it by mistake.
Dog, we just said.
I know. I accidentally like flipped the plate. I know we just said it. Either way, this is still recoverable. All right. We just scoot the chip back into place. Come on, man. There. Nope. There we go. Okay, that's done with. That was a lot worse than I thought it was going to be. Okay, well, let's just be very careful with this. There we go. This is still going to be very hot. Yeah, that's very hot. But while it's cooling down, we probably should be cleaning it. Oh, this is way still too hot to touch. Okay. There's some shmoo on this corner. Isn't it kind of crazy that they expected kids to do this like by hand with how small these components are?
Is that a child labor joke or
no?
Oh,
this was meant to be
intended for small children.
Yeah, this kit was intended for kids. With this and this and all this, and not to mention this is double-sided. There's actually more on the back.
That's crazy.
I don't know what they were. What they thought this was like a great kit for kids, considering just the size of these components is absurd.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's all taken care of. Now we move on to all the other components here, which I believe are LEDs. Very, very small. Okay. I don't remember if they're unidirectional. I don't think they are, so I'm gonna have to look at the guide again that I just misplaced for some reason. Where'd it go? I just had it. Oh, where'd the paper guide go? Is it here? Where'd it go? Maybe I should have it, like, on me in general. Where is it? Oh my god, where did the guide go for this thing? Oh, there it is, on the ground. There it is. Found it. Okay. What was this thing I want us to do even next? Step 4. Ah, there we go. So it's to solder a bunch of these LEDs on. There we go. Fix. So they want us to do this, is place a tin pad from the pad all on shown. And then align them. And then solder them in place. So let's do that. There's apparently a green spot on each one of these. Oh, good. That's easy to see actually on the camera. That's kind of a little upsetting. Okay. We don't need flux necessarily for this since we're putting it on... well... Flux would be helpful in this situation. Flux is always helpful. Don't not use flux. Don't listen to me. Don't not use flux. So we're going to be doing all of these guys around here. I'm more upset that they want people to do this, like, by hand with tweezers. What are soldering? It's like this cute little tiny pendant. It's probably going to be like a keychain. But it's a tutorial kit for surface mount and through-hole soldering. We'll get to the through-hole in a minute, but we're doing all the surface mount now because genuinely it's the hardest one. And, yeah, the fact that this was like $10 on Amazon for kids, and I'm like, this is some horse hockey. I'll tell you what.
Come on. Horse hockey.
It's bullshit. I just don't want to say it.
It's bullshit.
So we're gonna tin all the sides that have the silk screen, with this double dot thing or double line. So. Tinning is basically just like prepping the pad by giving it just a little bit of solder. So just put some pressure down. I think I need more. There we go. There we go. Which might just do it like this. Actually, it's easier. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Just to get like a little bead of solder on there. Not too much. There. They're all tinned. They're a little dirty, but they're all tinned. Now, what the kit wants us to do, which I think is just still... This is getting... It's a little absurd. Because, again, I don't know how you're supposed to give this to kids without just immediately butchering it all. Is these... I almost already dropped an LED while taking it out of the package. That's how bullshit... God damn it. They all flew. Okay. These guys are microscopic. I'm gonna eat one by accident. Like... They are tiny. Like, actually tiny. Okay. So, let me grab one. Okay, so, here's an LED. One of the sides has a green bit on it, and that's going to be on the negative. So, wow, I almost actually dropped it again. This is why this is legitimately why I have the camera. Okay, there. So now that it's here and we have it... Come on. There we go. Just got it. Whatever you do, breathe one in. I know, I'm not going to breathe an LED. I'm going to try my best not to breathe one of the LEDs in. Well, they are incredibly small and very... They're like the size of like half a sprinkle, not even like one sprinkle. There we go. A lot of this, though, it just requires patience. Oh my god, who raided? Hey everybody, welcome, welcome. Good to see you all, welcome. We're doing a thing. Hi, hello, fellow Fae. Nice to see you all. There's a spot for everybody. Welcome, welcome. I'm doing a little soldering tutorial for everybody. This kit is apparently meant for kids. Look how small these pieces are. This is my thumb. Look how tiny these guys are. It's microscopic. It's crazy. But soldering is a fun tool that people use to make electronics with. I am blessed/cursed with the knowledge of knowing how to do this, and I want to do it for other people. It's itty bitty. It is so tiny. Again, for some reason, they thought this kit was going to be for, like, kids. It's a crazy idea of a STEM education tool. Like, I'm not even using my own eyes for this. I have to use the camera. The feed that you're seeing right now to figure out what's going on.
What's going on?
And I said, hey, yay, 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 yay. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? It's on the underside of this. Stupid. You're itty bitty. This is like smaller than some Minish Cap nonsense. Okay.
It's an interesting point to jump to.
I remember the Minish Cap. I didn't like play it a lot, but I know it was a good game. And it had a small link in it, so I thought it was funny. Well, come on. This requires just so much of like focus. Oh, this was a piece. Oh my god, it fell and I didn't know where it went. There we go. One of the best 2D Zeldas for sure. That's so promising to hear. These guys are so small that surface tension is just affecting how they're getting placed, which is bonkers. Like if I get this one, look, it's coming with the solder it's melting with. No. There we go. I showed an automated way of doing this with like a big old heat plate or big old tiny heat plate. But this is the more hard way doing it. And I need to practice myself, so I'll... So what I'm trying to do is, you see that each one of these pieces has a little green part and a silver part. I'm matching the green parts to the edges of these. Do I recognize it's a very finesse-heavy technique? Yeah, it depends on what component you're soldering, because you can either really go ham, because soldering is not just for electronics. People also do soldering for what was it, glass window making, and they are much more rough. They are much more rough than what I'm doing with these. So you know the like stained glass windows, right?
Yeah.
And you know how and they have the metal bit in between separating the glass panes?
Yeah.
What's actually happening there is that there's copper tape all along the edges of the glass, and they're using silver solder to fill in those gaps.
Oh, interesting.
And the soldering iron is just like the same thing here, except instead of this tip, it's just a huge fucking flat iron, and they just go... And they even use flux, too. They use flux and the silver solder to put everything together. Their task is a little bit different, mainly because they have to also deal with temperatures and not shocking the glass, because if they do, they break the piece. Come on. Oh. I mean, I don't have the hand-eye coordination for a fighting game, but I could do this at least. No. There we go. Stop. Oh my god. I used also a bunch of like tacky stuff on my tweezers too, so they're sticking and they're not coming off. Okay, there we go. Stop it. Finky. Piece of... Come on. Stop it. Okay, there. This guy is so finicky. Again, this is why I have the camera, because I have to do this by the camera. I can barely focus my eyes enough to visibly like do this. Come on. There we go. Come on. A little bit more. There we go. Cool. Why is it? Oh, it's twisting. There we go. It's already out of place. It's so bad looking. But we'll clean it up. It won't look as gross. And then we get to move on to the other side. Get off. Get off. Come on. There we go. There we go. All right. Eee, a little messy. All right. Last one. Oh, they gave me extras. How nice. I can't tell which side is the green side. Oh, wait, no. I think I can. Get off. Stop. Oh, these are so small. There we go. Okay. Okay, that's one of the harder parts down. And now we see to connect the second half with these, which shouldn't be too bad. No. Oh, no. Gonna add a little bit more solder for that one. There we go. There we go. That's all of them all soldered in with 2 to spare. All right. Now we got to do the important thing here, which is clean it up. We're going to take our isopropyl alcohol and probably another Q-tip. Just cover these guys in isopropyl alcohol and give them a good scrub. To get all that burnt gross used flux off. Because again, flux is corrosive to boards.
Flux is
So
some chemical, like it's not like what's it made of?
I don't even know what flux is made of. Genuinely, I suggest you just read the Wikipedia article because I don't. It's beyond my need to know, you know. Like I don't need to know what it does. I just need to know what it like. I don't need to know what it is. I just need to know what it does for me.
What
Which
does
is
flux do for you?
All right, there we go. That's nice and well. It's not dirty anymore, and you see each end is pretty. I'm not gonna say pretty, is soldered on there. It ain't pretty.
It do be soldered.
It's soldered. It do be soldered on there. And there's 2 other components that we can do. And I think that's all for this side, so we're gonna turn it over. Maybe give it a little bit of a wash. Because boy, it is gross. Okay. These aren't too bad now. After that is what does it want us to do? Already did this bit. It's the next bit here. Install these 1 ohm resistors. With the same method. Also, that's so annoying. They actually tell me it's... Are you guys trying to read small numbers? This is going to be absolutely awful. These are the resistors they want us to solder in. I have to differentiate between 2 of them. One is labeled 1001 and one is labeled 1000. Or no, wait. There we go. Now the fun part. How do we freaking identify these? Again, I was like, I don't have like a microscope. I have to use the camera autofocus to actually get me an answer here. There we go. Those say 1,000. These should say 1,001. $1,001. Okay, so 1,001 goes on R2. 1,000 goes on R3. So we'll just place them like that. Absolutely just... Why? Why? You're so tiny. You're so small. This isn't even a... They're so small, it's not even a choking hazard for kids anymore. They just pass through the kid's organ. Like, they just pass through. Kid could breathe this stuff in. Microplastic. How am I supposed to open this? That's also a thing. How am I supposed to open this? It's tiny plastic packaging. Without absolutely destroying... Oh my god. Hi everybody, welcome to a micro unboxing. We're unboxing some capacitors. Let's get this plastic film off. Alright. Now we got the... Or this isn't a capacitor, this is a resistor. We'll see a capacitor later. We'll do one at a time because, God help me, these are tiny. Okay. Be real, I almost dropped my soldering iron. That would have been really bad. Okay. Let's tin the pad here. Yep. All right, there we go. I think that did it. Nice. Soldered in place. So the other one. Nice. That one's actually really clean. That was the cleanest I think I've done so far. Right. Before I do the other one, let's prep this guy. Back to the tiny ass nano unboxing of. Would this be an unboxing for a mouse if it was this size? Would this be like a Nintendo Switch for a mouse? Or not an ant. For an ant, I think this would be at least a good-sized TV, you know?
Maybe.
All right. Thankfully, with resistors, they don't have to worry so much about orientation.
I always worry about orientation.
Yeah, I know. There we go. There, both are in place. Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. You might think I'm like overdoing it with cleaning it up afterwards, but honestly, it's probably the best thing to teach at least.
Sure, you know what you're doing.
Yeah, no, it's better to keep, honestly, just to keep each part of the board clean. you know?
Mm-hmm.
I should probably just add a little bit more on this. There we go. All right. What does it want me to do next? Ah, this guy. Install 6-pin SMD toggle switch at SW3. Soldering iron can't touch pins 3SRs will damage the switch. Oh, can't touch pins for more than 3 seconds. I see. Okay, so we got to be quick with the switch. It's surface mounted and has two little pins to orient it, but it is a switch, so it doesn't really need an orientation, I think. Just needs to go in. There. This one shouldn't be too bad. Especially because we don't really need to tack it in place. It's going to stay there because there's little pegs underneath to keep it in line. So we'll just add a bit of solder to our iron. And then just sweep across these. So, whoop. What? Just sweep, sweep, sweep. There. That one I think is missing a little bit. There we go. And a little cleanup. Nice. Next is going to be the capacitor and a potentiometer. And they're thankfully set up in such a way that you can't mess up with them. Venny! OMG, it's a Stoat. Hello, Stoat. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If y'all don't know me, my name is Alvin Hexblade, Head Guildmaster, Chief Barista, and tutorial of soldering. Today we're teaching soldering with a very, very tiny little Nautilus boy here. And after that we're gonna go on to a bigger piece. But this is what we have right now. It is incredibly small in comparison. Here is a choking hazard battery. Was building Legos? Yo! Did you build... what kit was it? What kit was it? I'm a fan of building Legos. I am a big fan of building the Legos. War Machine Mech and Venom Mech? Yo! Oh, those are nice. I usually go for I usually grab the artsy sets, you know, the one with the what was it? The Polaroid camera, the radio, the I think I have the Great Wave of Hanekawa hung up on my wall. Those are so good. They're very expensive though, so but thanks for bringing your friends along. Awesome, Stoat. The bigger sets are expensive though. The mechs were $15 each. Yeah, they're meant to be a display piece or whatever. Okay. This next bit, I suppose, requires some focus. So we'll try and focus. So we're gonna install this potentiometer and that capacitor on. Thankfully, the silk screen does tell us which orientation to put it in. So we'll just add flux like we should. Cool. Add the solder. And we're going to drop this guy in place. Gonna get some food prep for work. Later. Have a good one. Thank you for bringing everybody along. Tiny little guy. Why are you so... Okay. Our goal is to tin this wire right here. There we go. And get this guy to line up. Shoot. Come on. There we go. There we go. Kind of messy, but it does... It did work. I mean, if I wanted to, I could, like... Oh, tap it so it just kind of moves a little bit forward. Come on. There we go. The back end is give or take the same. Apply some heat. Apply a bit of solder. All good. Gonna probably top this side off too because I think it's missing a little. There we go. This guy's in. All right. Next is this guy. This is a potentiometer. What it does is, let me just put this iron down in a safe spot. This does is that it's a variable resistor. So if I twist this little guy one way or another, it'll change how the it'll change resistance between two spots. So it goes. This is a through-hole solder, so this is a little bit different. For these, is we just put the components in place so they go into this little hole. Come on. There we go. I had to push it in a little bit and then push it down. It's a little tall, but I think it's... I don't think they even mention it being this tall. No, it is supposed to be that tall. Oh well. These aren't that bad to solder though, because what we'll do is just flip it over and the pins are all on the other side. Now we just need to actually put them in. These I actually don't use flux that much, but what I do is just put it on there, add enough solder to... Come on. There we go. Cover the pin, really. So same way here. Apply pressure. Make sure that the soldering point and the pin gets hot, and then just add it on there. And you notice I'm not adding any flux to this because there's flux built into the solder to make this happen. It's not a lot, and still you should probably clean it off afterwards, but it does make it go in, so you know it counts.
Yeah.
And like before, we're gonna clean it. Just so it doesn't get all gross and stuff, or more gross than it already is. is very gunky. It's very gunky. Okay. Also get it off the capacitor here. Okay. Last piece is the battery holder. This guy isn't too complicated. It's through hole like these, like the other one. So we're just gonna put it in its spot. Oh. Yep. And flip it over. Sometimes if it falls out like this, what I usually do is get some like blue tape, painter's tape really quick just to plop it on there. Oh. Probably should get some actually. Oh, wait, hold on. This is in the wrong way. There we go. Yeah, it's gonna keep falling out. Let me grab some tape really quickly. Just to make sure it doesn't fall out. All right, cool. So like last time, touch the pin and the via that it's at. Put a little bit of on there. Make sure you see that it goes, it both bits are touching, and then you can let go, so. There. Gonna grab another Q-tip and just give this one final scrub, because this is the finished component. It is the finished little kit. It is very, man, it's gross, but oh. There we go. It's all done. Now I got a battery from it, so let's drop it in. If I remember how to put these batteries in. There you go, like that. And flip the switch. Looks like this one works. That one works. That one works. That one does not work. I'm guessing it's because there's not enough solder on here to get these pads together. So let's fix that really quickly. We can do this while it's still on, but I honestly don't recommend it. This is just to see that it... There we go. Let's see, does it? There we go. Yeah, I was just missing like a little bit of solder down here, just to make that connection stick. Let me just push this guy up a little bit. Okay. So we got it working. Wonderful. And all this... These LEDs are stupid bright, by the way. I think they're getting... Like, hold on. Can you see them through my finger? They're incredibly bright. So let's see what happens when you mess with the potentiometer back here. Oh, it changes the speed. Yay! Maximum speed. Yay! And then slow. So, that's like I don't want to say Babby's first soldering project because this actually turned out to be more complicated than I was expecting it to be, or at least more intensive than I was thinking it to be, because these are like very, very small bits. But, and I had to actually adjust one because one of them wasn't working. But it all works, and we made one mistake, and then I showed you guys how to fix it. So that's the important bit.
Yippee.
Yippee. I just like watching it go like this. Yee. All right. So let's clean up a little bit. And I think we have enough time. That was 2 hours. This entire thing took, this tiny thing took 2 hours of soldering. I kind of wonder how bad the large guy is going to be. But I'm tempted to actually like do some of the, use the hot plate a lot more for that one. Or be less like careful with the flex. Like you can rush it, not too badly, but you can rush it a bit. So let me get all this out, because there's actually like so many like more components to it. Like there's resistors, a bunch of like LEDs, 2 chips in here. And a bunch of these like ceramic, or not ceramic. These are like EL wire, electrical wire. It's a tiny little gun. So I might we might just do these a little bit faster, since there's so many components. Okay. Also, just kind of good thing to do is to sort the little greeblings out. These are, I think, for mounting, so we can put those aside for now. Okay. It's like, it's such a big item. Like, there's so much. There's so much into this already. All right. big ol' steps. Step 1, install the oh no, the LEDs. You know what? Yeah, this is definitely hot plate time. So get some of these out of the way. Definitely. Okay, so for LEDs of this nature, where are they? There they are. These guys have a little notch, if you can see that. Let me actually, I think it's probably easier if I remove the casing. Or the packaging, because the shine of the packaging is making it harder to see. There you go. Okay. For LEDs of this type, you'll see that each one of them has like a little cut triangle in between them. That's a marking. And we're going to match them with each one of these here. But before that, gotta put a bunch of solder on this. Or solder paste on this. Oh my god. It's always so hard to actually like put this on. Because it like dries up. If only there was a better way of doing this. And there are. It's just not for babby consumers like me, you know? This is definitely not a good view of doing this, I'm sorry, but it's the only good way to actually get solder paste onto this thing. So Brandon, how have you been?
Today?
Yeah.
I'm fucking done shit today, dude. I got out. I stayed up late. Oh god, what YouTube videos did I even watch last night? I can't even remember what I watched. I remember enjoying it, so it can't have been bad. What did I watch?
Well, it depends on your taste, though.
I watched a little bit of Pirate Software playing Hypnospace Outlaw, which is an older stream.
Hmm.
I've been watching a lot of financial videos, which some might find depressing. I do a little bit too, but they're also fascinating.
In like the watching
in the
what?
like, in the like, man. It's a shame I had to be born in the time that I was, and I could not reap the great economic benefit that has occurred prior to the time when I could have ever potentially, like, I would have had to been child prodigy to take advantage of.
Yep. But hey, guillotines are free. Or, well, with enough labor, guillotines are free.
What else did I played some. I want to make YouTube videos talking about the video games I like, but sometimes I don't have the energy to write, and then I'm like, oh, I also got to record, and then I gotta pay it.
And then you realize oh, production is a whole thing.
It's just like I get.
Right.
And I know this is like a common problem. Like, I start working on it, and I'm like, I don't really know how to wrap this up. So I'm like, okay. And then I'm like doing something else, and I'm like, oh my god, I have so much energy again. And then I start writing another script, and then it's like, but I didn't finish the first script, and then I don't finish the second script either. And so it's like nothing. I just have all these scripts that are all works in progress.
Damn.
And that's not good. I need to force myself to finish a script. But is the flux stuck? Is it like
it's
hardened?
Like just really.
Is it just not very viscous?
No, it's not.
Is it supposed to not be very viscous? I don't know anything about flux other than use.
It's not. I think some of it's also just kind of dried up too. So.
Is that like an older syringe?
Yeah, I've had this bottle for a while, so. Or the syringe.
The syringe tip isn't sharp, right? It's
no,
flat,
it's just no, it's blunt. Yeah.
Okay. But I kind of want to do a video on StarCraft 2, but I'm like, the script's all over the place. It's like a mixture of like review, historical information, and like kind of me being like, damn, this game I put like 4+ years of my life into is gone. And also me being like, damn, I hope strategy games don't just, like real-time strategy games at least, don't just completely die off. I got some other stuff I want to do. I wanted to do one on Viva New Vegas, which is like a giant mod pack for Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Or Fallout New Vegas. I don't know why I said Fallout 4. And it basically just makes, like, it's a lot of vanilla plus improvements, like animation improvements, bug fixes, patches to make the game more stable. Nothing like absurd. And I've been playing through that, and that's been a blast. A lot of subtle improvements, especially with the animations.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the perks for your followers were altered. I haven't played the DLC, but I also have like probably the least amount of time in New Vegas's DLC compared to the main game. Like, some of the DLC I've only played through once.
What was in the DLC for that? I think one of them was Aliens, right?
No, that's Fallout 3. Fallout New Vegas is there's Dead Money, which is kind of like, they were going for like horror with survival, and they ended up doing survival with a little bit of horror.
Huh. Okay.
And so like you're very resource strapped in Dead Money. It's, in a lot of ways, it's the messiest, but I think it's really interesting. It takes place at like an old casino with like holograms that are invincible, and like these ghost enemies that you can only kill by either shooting them with a special weapon or killing them with a headshot, or by using a knife to dismember their corpse after they get knocked down.
Sheesh.
And there's some other really cool stuff too, but those are some things that I like about it. And then there's Honest Hearts, where you go to the Zion National Park, which is currently in the middle of a conflict between 3 tribes, and you meet the Burned Man, who is a character from he's a character that like is really important in the like backstory in the lead up to New Vegas.
Oh, okay.
And it's good. It's very good.
It sounds nice. Again, like,
and then
I guess it's unfortunate that Fallout New Vegas and 3 just kind of wasn't my jam.
I mean, 3, I get why some people like 3, and I didn't hate 3 the first time I played it. It's just there's not a ton of reason to replay it once you have played it the first time in my mind.
Oh, okay.
It's just kind of like, so you go through and do what everyone does when they play an RPG for the first time. You play as the good guy, and then you're like, all right, let me do an evil playthrough. And then for the most part, the evil playthrough is just kind of dumb. Like the Enclave actively want you dead, and siding with them doesn't make them change their mind. So it doesn't
like,
really
what's
make
the
a ton of
point?
sense. Yeah, it's like, what's the point? Like, you poison the wasteland just for shits and giggles, and the it's an option, but it's not really a satisfying option. And then like New Vegas, at least it has some problems with trying to be like just a straight up asshole to like most of the factions, but it tries. And then what else? Fallout 3, I'd say not as badly as Fallout 4, but Fallout 3 has, I would say, like more of a, you're a jack of all trades. Like by the end of the game, you're kind of good at everything. Whereas New Vegas kind of forces you
To pick a
because of
specialty of
just,
some kind.
yeah, you're kind of encouraged to have a build and to specialize. And I think that makes it a more satisfying game for role playing and just, you know, just as a game, it's more satisfying in that regard. Like, a good example is, so in Fallout 3, you get a perk every time you level up, but a lot of the perks are literally just increases this stat by like, I think 5 or 10 points, like this skill. And so you kind of end up in a situation where you just end up getting a lot of those, like a lot of these perks that just kind of increase your base stats and don't do literally anything else. New Vegas also has like, and New Vegas, on the other hand, removed all of those perks and added new perks, and then said, okay, you only get a perk every other level, every even level you get a perk, and that forces you to specialize. Cause it's like, if you want these perks, you only have so many of them that you can get before you hit level cap, and you have to like pick your stats with a plan to like be good at something. Like right now I'm doing a cowboy build, and something like that would not be viable in Fallout 3. Like you couldn't really do that, not just because the weapons don't really exist in that game. New Vegas is like kind of has this weird mixture of Fallout and like a Western aesthetic, which Fallout has always kind of had, to my understanding, but it's most prevalent in New Vegas. Fallout 4 really kind of is where, like, I would still say Fallout 3 is like a RPG, and I guess Fallout 4 is technically an RPG.
Yeah, Fallout 4 still are.
It's not an RPG in the same way. It's like your character is either, if you pick Nora, the female character, your backstory is you're a lawyer who's married to Nate, who's the male protagonist, if you choose the male protagonist, and like he was a soldier, and you get frozen inside the vault, and you wake up in the future, and you had a spouse and you had a child, and your child gets abducted, and then you wake up like 200 plus years in the future, and it's kind of like you don't have the role-playing potential. The game doesn't feel geared around it. It
Oh,
feels
it's like you are a character, not like you can be whatever.
yeah, it's kind of like a almost like a JRPG in that sense. Like not obviously not every JRPG is like this, but like your Cloud in Final Fantasy has a whole backstory of like being part of like this super soldier program and all this other stuff, and being from this village and everything, and that's fine. You can have a lot of fun with it, and some people love that aspect of Fallout 4. But I think a decent chunk of the fan base are like, this is a solid game that, because it's called Fallout, creates an expectation that leads to disappointment for many people. There was a lot about that they tried to do with Fallout 4 mechanically that I either respect or actually really like. Like some of the things like the base building, I think it was a nice idea, but I don't think they really got it to where it needed to be something really interesting. Like it ends up becoming frustrating, for at least for me, someone who doesn't want to spend hours just doing base building.
I see.
Like I think they wanted to, they saw mods. A lot of Fallout 4's mechanics that they added that weren't in 3 or New Vegas is like, I think they looked at mods that people made for 3 in New Vegas and were like, oh, this is
let's do that instead. Like let's do that.
Let's like try to implement this. And I don't think that's a bad idea. Like I think that's a good idea as a developer perspective, but a lot of them don't feel as fleshed out, and they tried to add some like DLC that expanded some of those things, but I just don't really think it got into a place where I was personally happy with it. It seems I've seen some stuff in Fallout 76 that looks really interesting that they did with the base building, but that's a multiplayer game. It's not really the same.
Right.
And doesn't really fix my problem of like wanting a story-based role-playing single-player game. And then, of course, just New Vegas has a lot of really good writing and quest design. Like, you can look up the branch of all the different ways to complete a quest in, like, almost any, even a lot of the big side quests. There's a lot where it's like, there is a million different ways to complete this quest. Not literally, but, like, it makes it feel like it is. Like, obviously every game is, if you play it enough times, you will realize where your true limits are. But the best games, the best RPGs at least, I think, do their best to hide that. Like they make it feel like the world does have infinite choices and is reactive and feels like a real place.
I feel like you're gonna say but.
Well, no, I think New Vegas does it very well. I think Fallout 3, I almost want to be more forgiving of, because it was Bethesda's first Fallout game. They had never made a game in that series before. They had made Oblivion, they had made Morrowind, and they were gonna make Skyrim, but that was it. Like they hadn't made a Fallout game, which is part of why I'm less forgiving for Fallout 4, because Fallout 4, they had time. They had 8 years. They had like 8 years they had 8 years, and then they had 5 from New Vegas. They had 4 from Skyrim. And I don't think they really learned from it. Like they didn't learn what, like the game sold well. Fallout 4 was also kind of around the time where it's like, I think this is just my opinion, but I feel like a lot of people gave Bethesda a pass on a lot of their games being as buggy as they are, because they were like the only company really doing that. Like think about in like 2000, when did Morrowind come out? Like 2001, 2002?
Something like that.
2002.
Yeah.
2002. So how many open world games did you play in? Open world RPGs with multiple endings and like big quest lines in 3D did you play in like 2002? Probably not on console as well. Like it was on the original Xbox.
Probably
then
not a
later
lot of
you have same with Oblivion and Fallout 3. It's like there weren't a ton of games like this. Like it's like when I think of open world games in like the late thousands, I think like Assassin's Creed, which isn't an RPG. It's an action game, or like the Batman Arkham games, or like every open world example I can think of. It's like, you know, it was not an RPG, and if it was an RPG, it was probably just as, if not even, buggier than Bethesda's.
Yeah, it sounds.
And part of that I think is just because like the console market at the time, you had to load everything off of a DVD or a Blu-ray, like, and that made it really hard. But once every console had a hard drive built in and required you to use it, like the PS4 and the Xbox One did, and also like advancements with like Unreal and Unity, became a lot easier to make big open world RPGs, and now everyone's doing it. And so then Bethesda's like, here's Fallout 4, is just as buggy as Fallout 3 was.
And then I could, and then I wish they, and then I wish some of them could just stop.
Yeah, and it's like now open world games are everywhere, and it's oversaturated, and people are kind of tired of them. Like, at least they aren't as feverish for them as they used to be. I think there's still like an appetite for a really well-made one, but I don't think the novelty of being open world is enough anymore.
I feel like some of them just kind of, some people burn themselves out on it.
Yeah, it's like it became something that was easier for people. Hey,
oh my God, no! Hello, everybody.
You're just in time to hear me.
Hello. Brandon's complaining about Fallout, and I'm trying to solder a thing together.
She's doing a good job.
I only hurt my hand once. I only burned my hand once.
It wasn't bad, right? Like,
no,
I guess if it was bad, you would have stopped the stream, but like,
no,
it didn't
it's
leave
fine.
A mark or anything? Oh.
No, my hand's fine.
Okay.
Now the problem is to get this thing to stop, because this is 200 degrees Celsius.
I was actually kind of surprised that Nell didn't put Fallout New Vegas on one of the RPG deals, but in the tier list y'all did. But I haven't. I'll be real. I haven't played it as nearly as many JRPGs. Like a lot of those I hadn't even heard of in that tier list.
Understandable. I see. Okay. So what's the next step for this guy?
I was surprised that the only Western RPG that anyone put on was Knights of the Old Republic 1.
Yeah, that was... I'm surprised it even got on the list, I'll be real. Installed 2 resistors.
I know a lot of people really like it. That was like
one...
BioWare at the height... Maybe not the height of their power. Mass Effect 2 is probably height of their power, but they were very...
So the next step for this guy is step 2. Install 1 resistor at R1 and R2, and install 1 microfarad capacitor at C2. And then we install the funny chip guy. So for these through-hole components, it's a little bit different. So let me just install 2 of these components so I can show you, or put everything in so I can show you. For these, we're gonna bend the legs of each one of these, so they're kind of like this. Bent. We just put them into these 2 holes. Make sure they're flush. This PCB is still hot. Oops. No. Came out. Okay. There we go. So on the other side, Now what we do is just bend these back so that they stay in place. We'll deal with the edge. We'll deal with it at a later time.
So crazy to me that with it, just a few decades ago, like people had to make like PCB traces by hand.
Oh yeah, people like just drew them with by hand. It is crazy.
A lot of those older, like you can, like, so
Yep.
I'm gonna assume that like this audience, most people have seen a PCB or looked at a motherboard closely at least once.
Real quick,
They
for
know what a
these little
trace is.
sockets, they have a notch in them. Clearly, obviously these are like you could really put them in any which way, but there's a notch on these that you want to match with this, with the notch on the silk screen. So it'll. Come on. There we go.
Yeah,
Going
it's
like that. Just make sure everything is nice and flush. I probably should get tape. You know what you were saying? What were you saying, Brandon?
It's just kind of cool looking at like those old, like very organic looking traces, whereas like now it's like you kind of just plug it into software, and for the most part, the machine draws where all the traces are based on where you tell it the components are going to go and what they need to do. Like,
yeah, it's really simplified down to just like this needs to go here, and then you repeat that, just tell the device where where to go, and then it just makes
needs to go here, and this much electricity needs to flow, and this is the thickness of the board and all that jazz.
Yeah, and then you just ship it, and then you just send it out, and then someone else makes it for you, and then you're done.
Yeah. You send it to PCB Way.
PCB Way, not sponsored. Yeah. One of these days, I wish I would get sponsored by one of those companies like that, but that's not like
email one of them and ask.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm no big ol' creator, I guess. Okay, so for these, back to the soldering iron. And again, they're kind of tiny, so I'm gonna zoom in. There we go.
Might want to adjust the focus. There you go.
This guy gets very warm.
That's the iFixit soldering iron? Or?
No, this is the Pine Sol.
Pine Sol. It's like the open source one?
Yeah, this is the open source one. $20. Or I think I got it for like $40, but like it's not too bad. Alright, anyway. Now that this is up to temp.
God, it's insane how hot that thing has to get.
I think it can go lower. I just keep it at this temperature. Anyway. Tap it. Give it a couple seconds for the rest of the components to heat up. There we go. And it'll just... There we go. There we go. Okay. That's kind of ugly. We'll fix it. For this one, we just need to give it a second. Feed the solder in. 1, 2, 3. That's a lot better. Okay, I know what I was doing wrong with this. For this, you kind of have to wait a second to get all the components get up to temperature and they become more wiggly, and then afterwards you're good. This is kind of the same. One, 2, 3, clean. Here again. Put it on both components. Add some solder. 1, 2, 3. Oh. 1, 2, 3. Add a bit more solder. 1, 2, 3. Yay! There are swears in this. No. Okay. So the soldering is for these is done. Now we got to do all this stuff here. Be a little bit more fast on it, I guess. Again, so the idea is to touch the pin and the hole so that both get heated up. Put your solder in, give it a second to have everything congeal down, and then you can let go. Oh. And when in doubt, flux it out. Mainly, again, this is for surface tension reasons. Come on. There we go.
One of my friends sent me this video of like an MMA fighter interview, and the dude is like talking about how like he doesn't wear a seatbelt.
Bro.
I guess this is something he was known for because the interviewer asked him about it. And he was just talking about how like, yeah, like I don't think it's the government's job to tell me if I should have a seatbelt on or not.
They did that. We literally went through this.
And then he's like, it's like they don't think about how what if I need to whip, jump out of the car real quick and duck and roll.
I mean, like, you got a point, but I mean, like, there's a prerequisite of, hey, how do you get there?
Yeah, I was just like, I feel like it's a statistically very tiny portion of the amount of
car accidents.
Of car accidents. I'm fairly certain most of those involve either rear-ending someone or getting rear-ended, not your car rolling. And also, like, what is this, an action movie? You seriously tell me you got the reflexes to somehow jump out of your car and
tuck and roll? No. I don't think many people do.
Also, that the negative like second that it would take to unbuckle your seatbelt and perform that maneuver.
All right, so we got that bit soldered on. Now, so do I have clippers on? Yeah, there we go.
The dude also, a different interviewer at the same video asked him, is like, oh, so what, like, how do you, like, eat so healthy? Like, he talked about how, like, you feel like Americans don't eat very healthy. And some of it was like, I'm like, yeah, that's, like, pretty standard stuff, nothing too weird. And then he's, like, talking about how, like, only 2% of Americans are farmers anymore. And how, that's why Americans are so unhealthy. It's just like,
what?
I'm just like, you're an MMA. In my head, I was thinking it was like, you're an MMA fighter. If half of America were farmers still, then you would probably not have your job. Like your entire industry would not exist.
Why would we have the spare time to fight people? Let's be real.
It's like, how are we fucking gonna have MMA fights if like we're all like having to plow fields all the time? I kind of like not having to work fucking 80 hours a week just to not starve to death.
True.
If I wanted to work 80 hours a week to not starve to death, I'd just become a video game developer.
Ooh. That hurts. So for this, it's just cotton. Shouldn't affect anything. There we go. Just kind of unsightly. There you go. tape off, and now we have this. It wants us to... Where's the chip?
Have the Millennium Falcon.
There it is. So with chip is the same thing. There's a notch or like a little hole. And that'll go in here like this. To make sure I don't absolutely destroy this thing, I'm gonna make it a little bit, match this a little bit more. Just plop it in. Oh, hold on. It's always a pain to try and get them in. I mean, that's what she said, but you know. Nope. There we go. Push. Oh my god. It keeps... I honestly think ICs like this are like the bane of my existence. They're always hard to put in.
Crazy
God,
that 50 years ago, like ICs barely existed.
Oh, it's stick bugging, that's why. Come on. Yeah, it was just a bunch of switches and stuff. I don't know why I can never get these in, like, right. Oh my god. This one leg keeps jumping out. But, like, I gotta be really careful with this or else it's gonna just absolutely... gonna break it, and I don't want to break it. Is it doing it again? No. Okay, it's in now. So I'm just gonna... There. I'm not gonna think about it anymore. It's in. It's in. Alright. What's the next step? Ah, okay, so for this bit, they want us to solder... Here. Install cool white ceramic filament on HE4A or HE07A. And then, okay. What's the one he wants us to do? Okay. The bigger end and hole. Okay. This one seems to be a little bit of a pain in the butt. So we're gonna... Well... tin this with a little bit of solder. Same with this guy. The fort when solder says the soldering time and all the solders all over the place. I know, right? That's what I'm doing right now. It's so great. Right. Use the tiny guy. Oh my god. It's gonna go in like this. Come on. No! Can I bend these a little bit? Yeah, that was probably the idea, is to bend it. There. There. The music is making this seem more complicated than it really is, and I mean, I guess it is. I guess it is more complicated than it really needs to be, but... No, oops. Oh well, okay. Let's make sure it lies flat. There we go. Stop it. Stay in place. There. Might need more solder, actually, but... There we go. Let's add a little bit more on this side. It's messy, but it does work. I have the Smoke Sucker 3000. I have a fan in here at least, or I should... There we go. I have a air purifier that's just blowing air around, so that'll be enough. Smoke's nasty, absolutely, yeah. The underside.
Delicious tin smoke.
Yeah, delicious tin smoke. There. So for these, we're gonna bend them. Oh, actually. Tape is also probably going to be useful here. There we go. Just to make sure they all stay in place. Ah, yeah, sniff the smell of poison, the essence of soldering. Yeah, it's mostly getting the headaches from that. That's what soldering is really about. It's actually doing a lot more than I was expecting. Oh my god. Hold on, let me get flesh cutters. I'll be right back. Okay. There we go. Okay. You know, got just tiny flesh cutters. Tape off. Alright, this bit seems good. Now what's the next step it wants me to do? Yeah. Looks like it's do the same thing with the other piece and solder all these things together. Okay. I genuinely don't know how they want me to, like, keep these guys still. It's not even mentioned in, like, the little tutorial for these on how to, or in the little guide, is how to keep these guys, like, still when soldering. The only thing I could really think of is I'm just gonna use tape every time to keep these guys still. So plus should be where the hole is. There we go. Genuinely, it's just like, I don't know, just tape.
I mean, painter's tape could work.
Like, it's working. Like, as long as it just doesn't make it, like, as long as it's not moving, or not moving enough for me to worry about it. It's fine, so. Kind of, it's silly, but I mean, it works.
Oh
Alright.
yeah, I remember what video I watched today that was good.
What did you watch?
It was a very long one, so I don't know if it's worth sending to you. Definitely not good for FNF, but
Yeah.
it was about how Napoleon may have accidentally led to the existence of strategy games.
That sounds really cool, actually.
The short version is, while ignoring like a lot of the talk about theory and like the actual differences that occurred over the course of literally years, is basically it's like wargaming really, like war games as a concept, which for those who don't know, war games are where a officer in the military or a military is basically playing a board game that is designed to simulate a real, like, historical or hypothetical future like
Scenario.
conflict.
Right.
Yeah, and war games got really big, especially in Europe during the Napoleonic Wars. And it was mainly popularized by people trying to fight Napoleon, specifically the Germans. They called it Kriegspiel, which literally, I believe, means like war games.
Not.
And
Yeah.
he kind of, the guy who made the video, Super Bunny Op, he kind of goes into like, here's a bunch of different stuff that we know about from history. He tried to get some earlier stuff too, but it's like there's so much like in theory, like chess and ancestors.
Like chess could be a war game.
It is. It's how it started.
Yeah.
And he talks about like how the aristocracy viewed like the dying of their subjects, and he talked about how like there's like the earliest board games that we are aware of probably had something to do with racing. And I think he's like, there is like ancient Egyptian board games that we have all of the components for and can reproduce, and we do not know the rules.
Are we?
There's no.
You're
surviving
talking
rules.
about the game of Ur, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe.
Yeah, the ancient game of Ur is.
Yeah, and he. Anyway, he later goes on to like, in the more modern era, like war games continue to evolve, and then like there's this bit about how like technology is usually initially created to solve a practical purpose and then gets discovered by artists where it's used to make art, and like that applies to everything from photography to computers.
Right.
And like he argues that war games created strategy games in a similar method. Like war games were created as a tool to train people and to basically run drills on conflict and teach officers how to be better commanders.
Mm-hmm.
And that eventually led to where you could play like Warhammer 40k in the tabletop. And like he literally brought up, there was a tabletop game that was created in I think the 60s called Chainmail. And Chainmail was like a war game based heavily in the traditional Kriegspiel like style, and they basically like, it was meant to be based on like medieval conflict, so like you didn't have anything past like the Middle Ages, right? Like so you had like archers, you had knights, you had like maybe some catapults and stuff, but that's kind of it. But the creator, you see, he just wasn't satisfied. He really liked Tolkien a lot.
Here we go.
And so he decided to make an addendum, and he's like, hey, if you want to play using like wizards and dragons,
That'd be
just
cool.
read a little further. And maybe you should, add a new dice, because like dice rolling was already part of wargaming. And like I don't know. We need a more complicated dice, like a D20. Chainmail's fantasy rule set went on to become Dungeons and Dragons.
Neat.
And then
It was like, and that man, Gary Gygax.
it is. It was him.
That was the joke.
And then it's also like how all of that, obviously, I don't think I need to explain to most of the people here how Dungeons and Dragons has like an infinite, like eternal, everlasting impact on all turn-based and strategy things going forward, including Warhammer. And that also extends out forever. And then you get Dune, and technically there are DOS games that had strategy elements and Kriegspiel elements, like prior to Dune 2. And then Dune 2 gives us Warcraft and Command and Conquer and Starcraft, and then that gives us MOBAs, and it just keeps going from there.
Yeah.
That part I don't think I need to explain to hopefully most of the people here. And I just think it's really neat.
I think it's neat too.
It's neat that, like, you know, he also talked about, what else did he talk about? It's like, there is a modern Kriegspiel that you can play. You can play Kriegspiel that is based in, set using, like, basically modern Kriegspiel done as if you are a person in, like, in a way that is faithful to how people in the Napoleonic eras would have done it. But you are doing it in Discord, and this group has, like, is dedicated. Like, you have two sides that have imperfect information. You have, like, an umpire, basically, who moderates stuff, who is also role-playing as your troops, relaying information back to you, and also doing dice rolls. And only after the conflict is finished do you, like, know what your opponent was doing the entire time.
That's crazy, actually.
And it's interesting because it's very good. It's a very long video. It's like an hour and 45 minutes, but I think it's worth it. You may, if you like history and game design and like just strategy games in general, or you played a lot of strategy games, you're curious about how all that ultimately, the through line of history that got us to where we are today, that if that type of stuff's your general, I highly recommend looking that up. Maybe I'll put it in Turbo Nerds.
Yeah, put it in Turbo Nerds if you want.
Put it in Turbo Nerds because, like, unless we want to dedicate an entire day of finding out Friday to one video.
Yeah, we're gonna just watch a Super Bunny Hop video and then talk about it. That makes me no better than, like, XQC, who just goes to pee and comes back. And I would like to at least acknowledge that I would like to believe that I'm better than XQC.
That's a high bar to clear. You're already not streaming on Kick for gambling money.
True. There we go.
It's gonna be sad that Moon is gonna graduate soon.
Moon, yeah.
I saw she was doing a stream on Overwatch 2 where it said the title was "I'm the graduation girl, so you have to watch me play this game."
Jesus Christ. That's... I feel like there's gonna be a joke like that, except when it's like, God forbid, like Gigi graduates, it's gonna be, I'm just playing League.
She'll finally cash in her coupon with Callie.
To play League of Legends, yeah.
To play Dota 2.
True.
Because Callie gave her like a coupon and it was like, oh.
Was it the Dota? Was it a Dota 2 coupon or was it a League?
Yeah, she was
coupon?
like one coupon to play Dota 2 with the girls, with the gal pals.
That's a more valuable one than than playing League.
I do not know how old Callie is. All I know is she is also from Texas.
Spoilers. I know her age. She's younger than us.
Okay, then I really don't know how she got into Dota 2 because like everyone here plays fucking League. At least in my part of Texas. Everyone in my high school was in my college was playing League. Not everyone, but a lot of people were. If you played PC games, you probably played League, at least a little bit.
Yeah, but you had Steam, so you had Dota.
Steam was not installed on the college computers in the computer lab.
League was?
In one of them it was, and that was where the League Club operated.
Hate that idea.
So I don't know if you know, Alma. Maybe you do, because you, I believe, were going to the same college, or not the same college, the college at the same time as me. But,
yeah.
Riot made a very concerted effort to get college students to play the League of Legends. It was very successful. They had like teams. There was like a whole like esports scene just with college students.
Yeah, I know collegiate league was a thing. Like, I at least know that. I think my college had. It wasn't that. It was Dota. It was Overwatch. It wasn't League. Probably for, again, the better, because I do not think about people who play League. I do not want, like, my friends do. I'm just there. I just watch at a distance because my experience with League has been most boring and like genuinely uninteresting.
That's fair.
Like, I play Lux. That's all I do. That's all I need to do.
I am a big Yorick enjoyer. I like my characters with horribly tragic backstories. I like hitting people with a shovel and creating zombies and just winning top lane by myself.
I like sniping like halfway across the map for no reason, just to get one guy who really never fucking saw it coming. It's really funny.
Is that a Sniper Dota 2 joke?
No, that was a Lux joke.
Okay. No, I'm just saying because you said
Sniper also has that. Sniper Dota 2 also has that. It's a map wide basically insta kill as long as they're it's a long range assassinate which does a ton of damage as long as you have sight of the target. And
you have to have like
you have to have vision.
Like, there's trees in between you and the target, but you still have vision. Can you shoot?
Oh yeah, no, it's just anywhere on the map.
Okay.
You just need to. You just need to have vision on them.
Yeah, it's global if you have vision.
Yeah.
Like they could be in their base, in theory.
Yeah.
Is it a kill or is it just a lot of damage?
A lot of damage. So if you do it under a certain, it's just a lot of damage, but it's enough damage to. You can figure out if it's an insta kill or not from there. Ow. I really need to stop touching the thing that was hot. Ow. There we go. They really expect me to use... Wait a minute. Shoot. Did I put this on wrong? Hold on. Did I put this on wrong? No, I put this on right. There's a hole. I wanted to... Yeah. I did it again. There we go. No. Oh, it fell. Come on. Move back in place. I need more solder. This section is just incredibly messy, mainly because it's just like these pieces will not stay down. Oh my god, it's like off center too. I can see the piece being. Come on. There we go. Shit, now we're doing like assembly, so. Gonna put these off to the side, gonna grab the little base plate. Also, my favorite part of this silk screen. No, off. USB-C. Tape is such a X flux. It helps damage retrievers to improve the surface in a situation like the one you're just working on. The new backseat just adding kind of tip. I have flux, so thank you for that, lucky duck, or lucky halfling duckling. Cute. I do have flux. It's just like I didn't bother because I thought it was just good. I was okay enough to deal with it. Mainly also because these like weird components don't lay like these things don't lay flat. I'll have another opportunity to do it, but let's just see. Also, cleanup's a pain. Okay, there we go. I mean, like, might as well just use the flux if we're telling people to use it. So it does make things a lot easier. Yeah. Okay. I would like to think that my soldering skills are at least pretty good. Oh. Or maybe it's the flux. I don't know. Clean was definitely a consideration. High percent alcohol helps. Yeah, I'm like, let me see here. I'll talk about that in a second. No, we're not playing that.
What almost played?
Lavender Town?
Oh.
No. I do have a little, like, initially we were doing, I'm not sure when you came in, but we did another piece just as like a full example because it had a lot of different types of components, like, you know, through holes and surface, like a lot of surface mount stuff. So I just wanted to give a tutorial with it, and I was a lot more careful with this one. I obviously like tried my best to clean it up with isopropyl, but it did turn out a little gross. This one is just more for my sake. I know I stopped saying words, but this one is a lot more of the same, although just some of the components are a little bit finicky. From what I could see, these look fantastic. Yeah, I did a lot of like mods for my controllers, and people were kind of like, wow, you can do this. It's crazy. And it made me think about like, what if I just like tried to at least teach people how to do it, so maybe they have at least the knowledge in doing it on their own. I don't know if they are able to, you know, people have varying confidence levels on that type of thing. But if I want to share at least what I know to other people, that's cool. That's like my goal here. That's my goal. I have too many dumb, weird hobbies. I want to. Oh. Oh, the switch is off. Is weird. Why is it like that? What the fuck? Whatever. It's weird. The switch is weird, but it's okay. Still, again, no. Off. No. What does it want me to do next? Oh, they want me to put in the stand-ins. I think everyone can solder. It's a skill that needs to learn. It's definitely learned. It's immensely yeah, it's very satisfying. Especially when it's like you did make a thing. And one of the side hobbies I do is like keyboard. I have like keyboard making behind me. I have one,
You have the
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 keyboards, and I'm ordering number 7 right now. And I've soldered at least 3 of them, and I've hand soldered like 3 of them. They're a really easy way to get into it, and it's to get to soldering since the contact points are so large. And the next steps are just screwing like plates in, so whatever. And it's really good, so why not, you know? And soldering like applies in other things too, like what? Plumbing also involves soldering, depending on what you're doing, especially with metal.
Yeah, it's like I think that might be more welding, but yeah.
Welding is welding is soldering but big, but I know that like
I
putting fittings
like
together.
I see more dudes cut pipe than I do see them like.
Man, that phrasing was so bad.
Okay.
I've seen more men
I
cut pipe. Jesus Christ. I've seen more men's cut pipe.
Listen.
What?
They cut it with a water cutter.
Okay. Whatever you say. Whatever you say. All right. Next part is like soldering all these components like together. So this and then this piece? No. This bottom piece. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out for this bit. Yeah, copper pipe fitting for like HVAC is closer to soldering. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking about, really. Let me just adjust.
Copper.
Copper. Okay. So next it wants me to like put
Always hate
these
it
together like this. Look, Halfling, thank you for the follow. Enjoy your complimentary drinks and the air conditioning for the solder, and have a nice, wonderful rest of your day. That's there. They want me to put it like this and then solder it together, which is very silly. But I mean,
I worked at.
Oh god. Yeah.
I worked at a construction company, and part of their job was like they install copper pipe where needed. People would fucking break in and steal that shit.
Understandably.
The copper is like worth a lot
my-
if you know who to get it to.
This is stupid soldering. Why would...
Oh yeah, on that Napoleonic video I told you about strategy games, I also learned that apparently poetry was like a lot of poetry was considered by the contemporary people to be schlock. Like a lot of epic poems about warriors and battle was
just
Pulp Fiction.
schlock.
It's Pulp Fiction. It's like it's isekai. It's like the action man did
Oh
the
god,
action
don't...
things. What a badass.
Isekai. Oh my god, do I seriously need flux? I need flux for this area. This is so dumb. No, stop. This is very silly. Who makes a connection like this and why? Did I rip a pad off for real? God. Oh my god, a pad ripped off. That's silly.
Is it unrepairable
From what I'm doing, potentially. But we'll see. It...
Dude, you just switched to plastic or you didn't have AC. Jesus Christ. Oh, things got quite as dire here, but sounds rough.
Ah. Stop merging together.
The merge is complete.
That actually kind of works, what?
Hooray for jury rigging.
That was pretty jury-rigged. Yeah.
I've seen some people pronounce it jerry rig, and I hate
jerry rig.
Yeah.
Is it? That was awesome with the wick. Yeah, I don't know how it managed to even do that. That was actually also very clean. It's kind of a miracle. Genuine shame that I absolutely botched this one side, though, and ripped the pad. So, I mean, oh well. These weird... I never liked these weird statues when they have soldering that does this. Yeah, left behind the perfect amount. I don't know. But, yeah.
They needed a way to, like, flat pack this, and they're like...
Oh, no,
well,
duh. It's all PCB.
Soldering everything.
It's all PCBs, yeah, so they have to, like... So that's how they do it, yeah. Okay, so what's the next step for this? Put it on the base. Are you kidding me? Okay. Now we're doing this in now they want me to do this in 3 dimensions now. It's not great camera. Hold on. See, this looks more... This is basically much closer to, like, welding, at least, in my opinion. Where, like, welding these bits together is... This is more welding. Oh my god, it's not even in all the way. It's leaning to the side! Oh, I hate kits. I hate these kits so much. Lay straight. There we go. There. Straight. Unlike this top bit. There. Oh my god, that part also, I ripped the pad off of it. Why is this so much... Why is this like this? These are really kits. Where did you find them? They just are on, like, Amazon. It's just, like, search up, like, soldering kit, and I grabbed one. Oh my god, did this one... Did I turn this one off? Oh, I turned this one off. They make little tiny statues. I think I have a couple here. Hold on, let me grab. I think I have 2 of them. Hold on. Oh, I don't have 2 of them. I do have 3. I have 3 of them. I have 3 of them. So 2 are buttons, which are 2 are like really cute badges. I know one of them has battery. This one's just really cute, very simple, you know. And this one is a little space lady, and the RGB, and it's the RGBs, and they change. It's very cute. Like, there's not a lot in this one, so I'm trying to figure out how these LEDs are being cycled and timed, unless they're built in like that. Let's take the battery out of this to show the other ones. hold on. No, stop. 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 Ew. There we go. Let's just unplug this. I'm not gonna... Don't want to deal with that right now. There we go. So there was that one. This one I think is plinking. It's more simple, I think. Again, like, and they're offset a little, so it gets really cute. But these are, I think, for science kits. Right there. lk.com.au, I think? Autofocus stop. There we go. These are much more like, you know, meant for younger kids because of the components being all through hole. And then here's this one. I think is my favorite because it's so like designed nicely. It's the USS Discovery, the little spaceship. You can still see the burnt flux on it.
My culture.
And with the LEDs on the back, and let's just put it in. Turn on the light, and they flicker, and it's really cute. They look like jet thrusters.
Oh.
And they're like candly LEDs. They're really cute. I think the lighting is definitely not doing it justice with how orange these are. There we go. So, there we go. That's a lot better. And it's really cute. I love space. Space is cool. I love space. I love space exploration. Anyway, cool. Anyway, back to the dumb, big, incredibly unwieldy wieldy ship. I didn't realize how big this was gonna be when I made this. Okay, what's the step after this? You guys won't believe this. I soldered this on the wrong way. And this is probably how it's carrying. I have to wick this off. I soldered these in the wrong direction, and I have a feeling that might do something. So I have to wick this bit off. Okay. Oh, God. Well, there goes that entire trace. God damn it. That's why I don't like how this kit was assembled. Oh well. Now it's a statue. Although technically, I think if I just pour enough solder into this, I can make the connection. So give me a second. Come on. Incredibly messy and gross, but I think it works, so. I need more solder. That's so much smoke. Okay. There, I think I fixed it. I think I fixed it. It's so bad, but I fixed it. Next, I think, is to add the top bit.
There's a lot of flight sim stuff. Do you play Elite Dangerous? Lucky Halfling, if you're still here.
I have to assemble this top half now in the dumb way. Who designs anything like this? This is the worst. Who makes stuff like this? At some point, this is really just less of a puzzle and just more someone thought of crazy bullshit to put together with a soldering iron. It's so tall now, I can't put it, like, in camera anymore. I might need to do that weird flux trick again. No, not flux. I meant wick. That almost worked. There we go. This is such a silly kit. Who? What? Like, once this goes into 3 dimensions, honestly, like, this is just... What? Soldering is going in 3 dimensions.
3D solder.
Yeah, it's... I can't even really express how nonsense this kind of got. If I just add a lot of it and then just swipe it away, maybe it'll work. If I just add a big chunk and then swipe it out. Well, kind of worked. It's so silly. Oh my god, they aren't soldering together anymore. There's too much flux on them, this is silly. Hold on. Their surface tension won't let them stay together. Or they're not close enough. They might not be close enough. Hold on. Oh yeah, that's what it is. They aren't close enough to actually like all solder together to solder in that line. But that means I would have to undo I think almost this top half. Which is very, again, the construction of this entire thing has been ridiculously silly. I don't even know if I can clean all of this top half off. Oh, and the wick is now stuck. Come on. It's so annoying. I'm actually almost so close to just giving up on this half because it's like it's so wonky. And like even worse, it wants me to do like more crazy soldering stuff like like solder in between this gap, and I'm like, are you crazy? Like, how am I supposed to even do that? I got one. It's such a weird build. It's such a weird, like, thing to put these together like this. Oh, oh. It's in the wrong way. But at least these have an excuse that they can lie flat now, so that's cool. I do feel like the more I'm making this, like the more I continue building this, the more I will slowly lose my mind. Or, if I haven't already, because...
Sanity is relative. Don't worry.
Sanity is what? Is sanity
Relative.
overrated?
No, it's relative.
Oh, yeah.
It's desirable, but it's relative.
It's desirable, but it's relative. It's so annoying when I'm like, yeah, I just gotta put flux on it. There.
You just gotta flux it out.
even with, I mean, at least the flux is making this easier. I also have never seen these types of like lights or LEDs before. They are weird. Oh. They are super mega weird. There. Okay. That's everything now. Oh wait, no. It has little guns. I want to put the little guns on.
Little pew-pews.
Yeah, they have little shooties at the top.
And that for 3.5 hours.
Yep, sounds right.
I kind of wish I had bought some gear or something at the store, but oh well.
Yeah, oh well.
I'm just vibing. I just want to vibe out a little harder. Then my current brain chemistry can account for it.
How do they expect me to do this, man? I need like 3 hands. Surprisingly, it is kind of doable. This last bit here should be it. There we go. The weird-ass spaceship is done.
Yippee!
Incredible, lopsided, weird-ass spaceship that I don't even know if will work. Well, I mean, hey, there's only one way, so... Yeah, that's what I thought. Does not work. Oh well. I do now have a weird mass relay question mark. Yeah, I now have a funky ass mass relay. That again, I absolutely botched. But it's together now, and it does kind of look cool. I can just lie when somebody asks, does it work? Oh, that was a lot. Vibing for like 4.5 hours or whatever, that was pretty good. Alright, really quickly, I'm gonna do some cleanup. Let's see here. Stuff is gross and stickly. Yeah. Okay. So, hopefully, at least the beginning part of the stream will be considered educational. The second half will be considered a shit show.
Well, we can bookmark it. It's like follow the instructions until here and then figure it out.
Yeah, everything else from that point on is just a absolute mess.
Don't do
So
anything after the timestamp.
don't do anything after the
That didn't
timestamp.
happen.
It was like step 1, Alma makes something perfectly fine. There's like timestamp 2, Alma fucks it up real bad. Just really bad.
Always Sunny thing plays. Isn't that Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Is it? Oh wait, you're right. That's Always Sunny. I like Curb Your Enthusiasm better. It's funny. The theme is cuter. Okay. Now the important part is
that one.
Hold
Good,
on.
you had it right.
Trying to find the cap for. Uh-oh. Where'd the cap for the solder paste go?
I ate it.
No, don't eat those. That's actually dangerous.
It's only dangerous if you allow it to be.
It's a weird mentality.
It's a good one, though.
Yeah, I think this should be good enough just to close up. There we go. Let me just put all this stuff away. So, hopefully, keyword hopefully, learning took place. Hopefully learning did take place, because I had fun doing all this. Like, despite the frustration at the end with weird spaceship ass, it does look cool. It doesn't work, but it'll look cool, and it'll definitely look cool on my desk. So yeah. All right. Let's get out of here for now. Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I very much appreciate it. Y'all are awesome. Thank you, everybody, for Curse of all those raids. Those raids were great. Who do you think we should raid in the meantime? Do you have ideas?
Live. Let me check. Night Lady is live.
Who?
Luminously whatever. Her.
Illumi.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a sec while I just continue to clean this up. Oh, yeah, for anyone who doesn't know and all that stuff, tomorrow I'm going to be playing Split Fiction with a friend, Kimi Mara. She's very sweet. We do good teamwork together, and hopefully I'll see you guys over there for that. Otherwise, I will try and figure out who to raid. This music's nice. My keyboard is over here. There we go. Who can we raid? Ooh, you know what? Let's raid... Yeah, actually, it was better. Let's raid Kimi. Kimi's a cute, adorable. Y'all should follow her anyway. Alright. She's playing Katamari Damacy at the moment, so make sure you guys save before you go and join us in raiding Kimi Mara. She's adorable. Please follow her. She's still a pre-debut VTuber, but she's awesome. Make sure you save before you go. Bye-bye.